guys, and welcome back to the Share Parenting channel. Thank you so much for being here. We finally hit 100 subscribers, so we were able to customize the URL to the channel, which is super exciting. So feel free to share that with others who are looking for support and advice, and in general, just making their relationships better. So the new URL is youtube.com/C for channel /share parenting. I am going to now share a video with you that I did in my free Facebook group, Empowering Parents to Uplift Kids. The response was really great. I had posted a poll asking folks if your kid could tell you one thing they really want more of right now, what would it be? And I gave some options, and connection was the number one choice. So I made this video that I'm about to show you to help parents who are struggling to create that connection in their home. And I based it on different types of connection for each type of brain. So the link for the free PDF of the 4 brain types will be in the description below. Enjoy the video, and if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel so that you can see when we put out new videos. I will talk to you next time. Bye, guys.
Guys, I am so excited to come live with you today. I am not in my scheduled work zone, so my kids may pop in and out, and that's okay. Guess what? Spoiler alert, I have kids. And they are very much a part of my life. So if they come in here, they'll be all crazy and silly, and we will deal with that then. But I posted a question yesterday, and I asked if your kid could tell you one thing that they really need more of right now, what would that be? And I gave 3 options. The first one was connection. The second one was to be more seen, more heard. And the third one was for you to believe in me, that I can do hard things. So all of these things are definitely needs of our children, and every child is going to need one of those more at different points in time. The first thing I want to address is just because your kids need more connection right now doesn't mean you're doing something wrong or you're failing or you're a bad mom or none of that. We don't play that here. You're a great mom. The fact that you even pay attention enough to know that they need more connection is a good thing. Okay? We don't deal in perfect parents here. That's not a thing. If you have read my book, there's a whole little diatribe about that. It's just, it doesn't exist. So that's not our aim. Our children's behavior is supposed to go up and down, and it gives us information. Behavior is communication. So beating ourselves up because they're communicating that they need something doesn't really make sense, does it? So all that aside, your kids need more connection. Awesome. How the heck do you do that? Let me guess. You're really busy. You have a million things to do. You maybe can't keep up with the laundry, and you can't keep up with the dishes, and there's toys all over the living room, and there's just chaos, and the siblings are fighting, and you're trying to work, and you're trying to virtual school possibly still. Some of you have your kids back in their schools, and that's great. Some of you homeschooled already, so the disruption wasn't quite so much of a disruption for you. But a lot of you are still in the midst of chaos, and that's real. And their need for more connection may feel very daunting to you. So I wanted to talk about ways that you can connect by brain type. For those of you that don't already have it, I have a PDF that I'll put the link for it in the description. It's free. And it lists out the 4 different brain types that we use to talk about the different types of kids that we have. There is the enterprising child, who is super determined, super physical. They're the ones that you're always trying to stop them from breaking their neck. They are very physical, strong-willed, spirited, can be this type. But realistically, spirited children can kind of fit into any type, and I can get into that maybe in a different video. But the physical child, they're the ones that need lots of roughhousing, lots of free play. Outside is best, climbing, jumping, fighting, all of that whole body movement. So for those kids, if you as a mother or a father are not that physical, it can feel really exhausting Let's use that word. Like, what is wrong with you? How on earth do you have this much energy? What is this? Like, you just feel like there's just no way. You can never meet that need. It's never enough. Well, the thing is to remember, they're not going to not want to connect with you. So it's okay to give what you can and have boundaries and put limits on it and make sure that you are operating from a place of, yes, I want to give to you right now. I want to pour into you right now. I feel good. My needs are met. Let's do this, right? You want to be in that space, not in a sacrificial space of, oh, I hate this, but I have to. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel genuine to either one of you. It doesn't meet that need for connection. So, from a good place, when your needs are met and you're ready to give to them, one of my favorite ways to give to these kids is to lock fingers with them and do sumo pushes. And you just push back and forth. And you're using your body weight, you're using your arms, you're using your core, you're using your thighs, your hips, your back, all of those muscles are engaged and you're pushing each other back and forth. Now, if you are very crafty and creative and you want to make this more literal, you can tape out a circle on your carpet with painter's tape, and whoever pushes the other person out of the circle wins. And the reason you lock fingers and lock hands like this with the other person is that it keeps it from becoming punching, kicking, trying to leg swipe the other person. It prevents that. It's very much, we're in this together. This is a push and a pull, a give and a take. And if you are significantly stronger than your child, you need to give. Like, you need to let them be able to push you. If your kiddo is in a season or phase or particularly little, you can sit on the floor and do this from a seated position. And then when they win, you kind of fall backwards, right? You roll back and they win, yay! And now they're on top of your legs or on top of your chest and you're laughing and you're together. This whole thing can take a minute. And you tell them, these are sumo pushes. This is what we can do when we want to do this kind of activity. And they'll ask for it. My 1.5-year-old will come up and go, puss, 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 which is her funny little way of saying push, because she wants to do pushes. And she sees me do them with her brothers. This is also a good regulating activity if kids have extra energy right before bedtime. It can help them get some of that energy out, again, without getting too spiraled out of control. So that's one way that a physical kid could get some of their energy out. Another thing that you could do with a physical kid is dancing, particularly if you can wrap your arms around underneath their armpits and pick them up and swing them. The vestibular input can be regulating for them. A big bear hug. That's simple. Do that once a day. Hey, my youngest one started doing, no, not my youngest, my middle one started doing long hugs, he calls them. And my husband, I would hear him a couple times a day, hey, I haven't gotten a Revan's long hug today. And he would just give him that big hug, and it might last a full 60 seconds, but it filled that kid up, right? And that's what this is about. So for those kids, it's physical. The next brain type is the exact type. They are not as silly and playful usually as other kids, and that's okay. They're more serious. They're more precise. They are more exact, hence the name. They're more black and white thinkers. They are very intellectual. They really respond to being respected as a mature person, even from a very young age. So my way that I interact with my exact child is to ask his opinion on things. Ask him what he's interested in and really listen. And it's not a like, let me grill you and see how many details of the conversation of the topic you know. It's more giving him the floor and really paying attention to him. Another thing we do together tons is read. We might research something of interest. Today, when we were waiting at the doctor's office for his cast, we were looking up the world's tallest people, and then we were reading about them and their history and like all these really interesting facts. And then in the car on the way home, he was researching all of the previous iterations of the American flag. So like I think that both of those conversations were less than 5 minutes. But it was me putting my interest into what he was interested in. It was giving him my time and respecting his input. And that was huge for him. The third type is the engaging type. The engaging type is the most playful, the most silly, the most engaging. These kiddos are the ones that do really struggle with you ending that engagement. They're engaging. They need constant engagement. Can they play independently? Yes. Is it a big challenge for them? Yes. That doesn't mean you shouldn't encourage it. That doesn't mean that you have to spend every waking second paying attention to them. But know that that is genuinely hard for them. So, they will be the kids that need extra play dates, that need other people to help fill that bucket if you yourself are not an engaging type. So these kiddos, their connection need is pretty much doing anything together. So shortcut wise, when you don't have a lot of time, invite them to do something with you. Hey, I need help making dinner. Can you, shred the cheese? Can you whatever, it doesn't matter. You know what you cook. You can invite them to do something like that. Or I'm going to go out and plant. Can you help me plant in the garden? They like to talk to you. So if you're able, while you're cooking, instead of checking out, have them sit there and just talk to you. They love to talk. Um, you can set them up on a Zoom call with a friend, or, like I said, lots of play dates and lots of social interaction is something that they will enjoy. They are fans of pretend play, and lots of parents despise pretend play. A couple of things. One, just because you're an adult doesn't mean you cannot do pretend play, doesn't mean you can't be silly. So if you're harboring any of that, feel free to let that go. Also, just because you're a mom or a dad doesn't mean that you have to like pretend play. You can tell somebody, I don't like that kind of game. I don't like that game, right? Let's play a different way. So, ways that I like to play, because I'm not a playful person, I like to do kinetic sand. It's a very sensory stimulating type of thing. I have no problem sitting down and doing kinetic sand with my kids, and they love that I'm paying attention to them. Building with magnetiles is another really easy kind of fun one for grown-ups. My husband can play magnetiles with the kids for hours. Excuse me. I have allergies and I've been talking too long. I'm trying to think of what else. Dancing, dance parties, stuff like that. Especially if you go onto Spotify or even YouTube and look up preschool songs, the playfulness is in the song. It tells you what to do. I am a dinosaur, and now we're stomping, and now we're resting, and now we're doing this, and now we're doing that. Spin, spin, spin again. It's in the lyrics of the song. You don't have to think. You don't have to know how to dance. You just turn on the music and do stuff with them. Engaging kids, oftentimes you will need to figure out what your personal limit is and set it confidently. They can handle the frustration. They can handle the disappointment, and they need you to believe that. They need you to have consistent, reliable, trustworthy responses. So if you're saying to them, okay, 5 more minutes, but 5 minutes becomes 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes becomes 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes becomes 20 minutes, and then you lose your mind because you've now gone 15 minutes past when you said you were done, but you're mad at them because they haven't let you go. It's your job to hold that boundary. You need to be able to say, hey, I am done. It's okay if you're frustrated. It's okay if you're sad. I'm done now. I am going to go do this thing. It does help a lot of people to say no when they're able to say what need they are meeting instead of doing that thing. So I am done playing. I'm going to work now. Or I am done playing this game. I need to go make dinner. I need to lay down and rest. I need to make a phone call. I need to, whatever that need is. Just because if you are struggling to set boundaries, it helps you to feel justified. And you don't need to always justify yourself. You can just be done because you're done, and that's fine. But for those that are struggling to hold that boundary, it can help to have that reasoning behind it. Make your reason about you. What is your need that you are meeting? It's not about your kid. It's not because they're too much or too intense or too loud or whatever. What do you need? Now, maybe that's your first thought, but it's not fair to blame them, right? They're just being a kid, they're just playing. So you might say, I need some quiet. I'm going to take a break in my room to rest my ears. That's fine, right? But it's about you. Does that make sense? The fourth type is the easygoing type. And the easygoing type is more emotional. They want more deep connection. They want to be able to talk about their feelings and have those feelings. They're a little softer, a little quieter, a little slower. Those are the kids that it's the most important to really slow down to their level. If you are go, 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 they're going to resist it. And they're probably going to fight back. So slow down. Put the adult agenda or the adult schedule aside for just a bit and just watch. See what they're doing. What are they learning? What are they interested in? What are they up to? I had a client message me today that their daughter got into a bunch of band-aids, right? And in that moment of rushing to work and trying to get people ready for school and doing all of the things, blah, right? Like that's super irritating. It's also an opportunity to observe. What was she doing? Was she playing doctor? Was she making patterns? Was she exploring, what different shapes and sizes those band-aids come in? Was she exploring stickiness? Was she attending to an injury that she supposedly had? We don't know. But when we watch, we can. And so for those kids especially, like slowing down is the most important thing that you can do for them. Really listening to how they feel about things. They are not ones that you can rush. They are not ones that you can push to open up to you. They need you to be able to sit with them. Some easy ways to do that are listening to stories on tape, doing art together, gardening, going for a walk. Some of these things are very multifaceted. So, going for a walk meets the physical need, meets the being with need of the easygoing child. If you are talking, they might meet the engaging need. The engaging kid also being as playful as they are, they like little games. So they especially like if you're walking like a dinosaur and then you're hopping like a bunny and then you're like, they love that playfulness. The enterprising likes contests and competitions and games. So racing is a fun one for them. And it can even be that you're the referee and they're racing with a sibling. It doesn't always have to be you that's doing it. But those times when they feel like they can just be themselves, there's no criticism or control. It's just, that's when they feel the most connected with us. So combining their brain type with your brain type and figuring out what you can do to meet both of your needs at the same time is going to make connection time that much easier. I would love to hear what ways that you love to connect with your kids. What is it that you do together that feels good to you as a parent too? And we can share those ideas. We can talk about it. We can talk about what tricks that you have found that work really well for your kids. And remember, it doesn't always have to be long. It's not so much about how long it takes as the genuine nature of the connection. This book, I Love You Rituals by Becky Bailey, is such a good one. And she has tons and tons of really short connections. Really short. Easy peasy. I remember doing some of them. You go up to a kid like this and you say, cut the pickle. And they do this with their hand. And you go, get a tickle. And you tickle them. That's like 3 seconds long. But it's cute and it's fun and it makes them feel loved and connected. And they can do it to you when they want to elicit connection. So the point is to find those things that actually bring you joy together so that they can feel more connected. And the return on investment is that you feel more connected too. Okay? Good luck. I can't wait to hear about the different kinds of connecting you do. And I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.